Good morning, everyone. Requesting everyone to kindly switch on your videos and switch off your mics, please. I can still see some sound coming from your side, or if we can mute everybody, that will be easier, Narari. But then they should be able to switch on whenever they want to. I think that will be nice.
Sir, you have to unmute.
Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Sanjay Sethi. I'm the Executive Director of Plant-Based Foods Industry Association. Welcome, everyone. Request all of you to switch off your mic. You can switch on your videos if you like. It would be nice to have a good face-to-face interaction. So we have about 90 attendees. Nice to see all of you and a very impressive lineup of star speakers, and look forward to have a very good interaction today for this online virtual interaction on the subject of art of raising funds with a very good focus on plant-based foods industry. So hope that we have a wonderful interaction. So requesting my team to introduce themselves very quickly, and starting with Narahari, Medha, Indra, and then Aditi can give a small presentation, please.
Good morning, one and all. My name is 𝗦𝗲𝗙𝗂𝗏𝗏, and I'm working as an innovation specialist at the Plant-Based Foods Industry Association. I'm also looking after our members. So currently we have 86 members, and also looking after new member enrollment. Pleasure meeting you all.
Good morning, everyone. My name is 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏, and I'm working here as a senior manager. So great to have all of you today this morning. I think the session is going to be very interesting from both the perspective from the investors' point of view and, of course, what plant-based food companies are looking forward. So welcome you all for today's session.
Hello everyone, myself Indra. I'm working at PBFIA as Innovation Specialist and taking care more towards the research, innovation and member services at PBFIA. And this is going to be an amazing session, and we all know that the economic situations globally is not really great, but still seeing such a star-studded list of investors right now, it's so encouraging for the industry, and I hope it's really beneficial to all of you. Welcome all.
Hello everyone, this is Aditi Sharma, and I am based out of Mumbai. I work here as a senior manager, and I handle the investment part, and we finally have a meetup here with all the investors, all the major investors in the industry, and all our food, plant-based food companies. So we hope you can network here, you can reach out to each other, and we are able to find good synergies. I'll quickly start the presentation. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, Aditi, we can put it on full screen also.
Would you be sharing this presentation later, or?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so we always start by saying the dawn of a plant-based age. We are here, we are a nascent industry, but we are going to rise. So that is what we want to signify with the dawn of a plant-based age. What is PBFIA? I'm sure most of you here know. We are an association, we are a CEO-led body, and we work towards representing the plant-based foods industry in India. And we work towards the 4 pillars, that is innovation, supply chain, investment, and policy advocacy. We keep having meetups for all 4s, and we keep having events as well. Today is the day for investments. So, let's speak our hearts out. Let's talk about the experiences we've had. What are the learnings? How can people get more investments? And what are you looking for today? So we are also the founding members of the International Plant-Based Foods Working Group, which has multiple countries there as well. We are a family of 86 members as of now. All the logos are here, and we hope that more people will join us as we move forward. I'm sure a lot of you are new over here, so you can reach out to us on the number we'll share on the chat, and we hope the family keeps growing. And we are very happy with the kind of response we've been receiving. And this is the first plant-based summit that we had, the Plant-Based Food Summit, which had 100 scientists and 100 entrepreneurs. We had 𝗦𝗲𝗙𝗂𝗍𝗍𝗃 Patel, which is the Minister of State, Ministry of Food Processing Industries. He was there as the chief guest. And then we had Dr. Sudhanshu from APIDA. We had Ms. Anushi Sharma from FSSAI. So we had representations even from across countries. We had Ms. Rachel from PBFA. So we basically had all the stakeholders together. We had 450 delegates present, 2,000 plus registrations, B2B meetings, tastings by 40 plus brands. So this is what happened in the month of May in 2022. And the second plant-based food summit is here on 16th and 17th of May 2023. So you all should block these on your calendar and start preparing, because we have started already. And this year we plan on making it even bigger, better, and grander. We want to bring in all the possible stakeholders, which includes the government, entrepreneurs, manufacturers, ingredient suppliers, chefs, of course, the investors. So basically everyone under one roof. There'll be a lot of networking, conferences, speakers, panel discussions. So yeah, mark these dates on your calendar, and we hope we're looking forward to a bigger and better big plant-based food summit. Moving on to the protein cluster that we are working on right now, I'm sure a lot of you must have heard Sir speaking about it. So this is a common services center that we are trying to build with the features mentioned here. So what we've identified is that we work in silos and we need to come together and create one unit. In fact, in other countries also, there have been these protein clusters that have been created, and taking inspiration from that and adding our own ideas, we want to bring in all the possible elements, which is the cloud kitchen, training center, incubation centers, research, and of course the production centers, all at one place. So we've identified 12 locations to start building the protein cluster, and Bhiwadi in Rajasthan is the main area which we want to focus on as the first location. So would you like to add anything on the protein cluster?
So this protein cluster is more like an economic, but not necessarily with a bound, and it's thing that the raw material shortage solves, not just the protein isolate, other ways of coming that we don't in the
Sanjay can't hear you clearly.
Hear you
Right.
at all. If
not just the
mic.
protein isolates, but also the protein concentrates, which are not just at 60% of protein concentration.
Sanjay, we can't hear you at all. We can't hear you.
Sanjay, you're not audible.
Yeah, you missed out a big part of that conversation, so you may want to repeat everything.
You want to try unplugging the earphones? Maybe try without that.
Or you try without your video on. You can try even without your video on.
Okay, so I hope this is better.
Slightly
Yeah.
better.
Sanjay, your voice is still
I can hear him.
So the
faint.
protein concentrates that we are developing right now, it is with the help of isolation process, and we are now beginning to find out if there is a more efficient process of getting the protein concentrates, and that would mean that the amino acid profile is not altered, and with the help of superior technology we can achieve the protein concentration of not just 60%, but 70-80%, closer to what the protein isolates are. but minus the over processing or minus the chemical process. So that would mean that we will not only solve the problem of the raw materials, but also we will be able to have a clean label kind of a product. And that's the whole purpose of coming out with a protein cluster. And we have identified 12 such locations all over India, and multi-stakeholders have come forward to support this initiative, and we are now looking forward to start the first one in Viva. Back to you, Aditi.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I will just
Aditi, I have.
Sorry, is someone saying something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to check on the protein cluster part because we've also been having discussion with a lot of companies because we would be buyers of products like isolates for our end product like a texturized protein. But unfortunately, we don't see the infrastructure on the ground as of now. So this protein cluster seems to be an interesting discussion for players like us. Are there any project planning? I mean, what is the status on the project plan? And
So
are there
can
even
you
any broad
identify
timelines?
yourself? Sorry, I'm not able to find out who is speaking.
Sanjay Pratiji.
Hi, Pratiji. How are you?
Hi.
So,
Very well.
Pratiji, these protein clusters will be with the help of various stakeholders who would bring in their best practices and their technology. And we will make sure that not just the pulses or soy and peas, but also some other novel ingredients like sorghum and like some of the oil seeds as well as rice and wheat. All the novel ingredients are also processed, including leaf protein. And this is the kind of work which is happening at the drawing board stage at this stage. And very soon you will hear from us in the detail working around that. So today's interaction is more for the art of raising funds. And we have some of the speakers who want to leave early. So we will, towards the end of this, we will spend a little bit more time on this. Is that okay, Pratiji? So going back to you, Aditi, if you
Yes,
can
Sanjay,
wrap it
thank
up.
you. That works. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Quickly moving on to Ahar. So, of course, we all know about Ahar, and this year we wanted to make sure that we have plant-based foods as a focus there as well. So, PBFIA is partnering with them. So, we have a conference planned on the 14th of March, and we have an exclusive plant-based foods zone. So, on the website, you can look and register under PBFIA so that we all are together represented as an industry at Ahar. So is there anything else that you'd like to add here?
So we have noticed that there's a lot of interest by the plant-based food industry to be a part of the larger food industry. Ahar being the biggest event, it is a natural place of confluence. And we have had multiple interactions with ITPO and the ministry so that our plant-based food industry could be at one place, and we are able to guide the rest of the international as well as domestic delegates to that particular zone, which will be hopefully around hall number 4 and 5, where APIDA and FIFI are also there. So the process zone will have all the major players in one place. So you will have an identity, you will have a slightly better experience, you will have a conference, you will have an interaction in the evenings and some networking. So all this as an industry, we can do it as it is as it is done internationally. So hopefully this time we'll have a better experience as plant-based food company, and we are not really lost amongst the sea of other food companies. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you,
And
sir.
on this, I would like to say that 15th of January, the portal opens. So if we are looking for an excellent location for yourself, kindly do get in touch with us before that. And when you log in as your desired association, and hopefully you will choose PBFIA as your desired association so that you can be all part of one place. Thank you.
All right. So we'll share the contact details in case you want to get in touch with us on Ahar. Moving forward, these are the 3 reports that we published in the past few months. We'll be sharing the link with you as well. So in case you want to understand the industry trends and what has been going on, you can go through these. These are very holistic. Moving on to, of course, the PBFIA team. So we all gave our introductions, and this is the team that, so we breathe in plant-based foods and we breathe it out. So yeah, this is all that we think of day in and day out, and we hope that with our efforts, we are able to help you in any possible manner that we can. And at any point, you can reach out to any of us. We are one team, so you can reach out to us and let us know what your concern or requirement is, and we'll make sure that we'll try our level best to fulfill that. And of course, Sanjay sir, under the guidance of Sanjay sir, we try our level best to represent the industry better. And yeah, that is the end of the presentation. We'll be sharing the contact details on the chat as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. Without wasting time, I would like to bring in some of the speakers very quickly because some of them have to leave early. And pardon me if I have not called you earlier, so you can, if you are a speaker and if you want to leave early, kindly do ping me up or raise your hand here. To open the discussion, I want to find out if Jinesh of Ahimsa VC is here. Jinesh, you were struggling to log in. Were you able to finally come in? Okay, Jinesh is not here. So Sandeep Bhamar, can I bring you first?
Yes, I can do that. Thank you very much. Can you guys all hear me? Because I know that usually voice is subdued by video and vice versa sometimes. So I'd like to kind of start off first by stating why I am qualified to speak about plant proteins on this August forum. And in that regards, I'd like to say that I'm a managing partner at Green Frontier Capital, which is now recognized as the face of climate investing in India. And we're India's first climate tech only focused VC fund. And in that regards, food and agriculture being major areas of interest for us from a climate perspective have been areas that we've actually been looking for good companies to invest in, and we have been investing in these sectors. But more importantly, I'm actually based in New York, and I've been an early angel investor in several food and agtech companies in my individual capacity as well, because our fund here is actually focused on India as a geography. So in my individual capacity, I've been an early angel investor in several companies that have now become the face of their respective sectors. So hydroponics, in the plant-based protein segment, I've invested in a company called Eat Just, which has a 99% market share of the plant protein-based egg market, which uses mung beans as an input. And I've invested in food fermentation companies and also in cultured meat companies such as 𝗘𝗵𝗿𝗄. So, and they've done very well for me. And I have a template which I feel works. But before I actually go into why or what I look at when investing in companies and how companies should be positioning their pitches, I'd like to have the group consider the following. That people obviously around the world are moving to a more flexitarian diet. And for those people who don't know what a flexitarian diet means, it's actually supplementing a conventional diet, which includes meat with an alt protein, not necessarily plant protein, but alt protein diet, which includes plant protein as a subcategory. So alt proteins include cultured meat, etc. But plant proteins is obviously a subset of that. What's really interesting is that the total investment made in 2020 in the alt protein segment globally was $5 billion. And plant protein actually accounted for 40% of this. And it was largely driven by public health and environmental concerns. Okay, so alt protein still remains a very, very small percentage of the trillions of dollars that have actually flowed or are likely to flow into the climate space. And within that, plant protein is an even smaller percentage. Therefore, both plant proteins and obviously within that regards, the alternative protein segments are underinvested as a climate solution. And climate is actually what's going to be driving a large part of the investment, in the alt protein and plant protein segment. So the first thing to remember as a founder is actually of a company is understand the investor that is investing in you. Is it actually an investor that's investing in you from a climate perspective, or are they investing in you because you're actually addressing an area which has obviously been historically riddled with health concerns, which is basically obviously the consumption of meat, or is it ethical concerns because obviously supply chain has had historically ethical issues, and we've seen that even during the pandemic. So it's important for companies in the plant protein segment to consistently implement price competitiveness relative to their non-plant based alternatives. So now we actually come to what is important, for a company, and what do I look at in a company when I make that investment? So the first thing is obviously research and development capability. So as a founder, your pitch should actually very clearly highlight whether your product can replicate the taste, the cookability, the cost, and the nutritional, qualities of the product that it seeks to replace. I found this on the web for clearly highlight whether your product can replicate the taste. Just a second. You have this when you actually start speaking, you have Alexa basically break out into this. If it recognizes.
And also, Sandeep, can you kindly conclude the discussion, please?
Yeah, scalability, ability to bring down costs. Also, what's important is how ubiquitous is the non-plant protein alternative that this particular plant protein is looking to replace. That's extremely important. So if you're actually focusing on an area which is not a big area of consumption, the scalability is not going to occur. And so those are the main areas. Obviously, people like myself understand that it's going to take a while for companies to actually deliver proof of concept. So even if you've actually delivered proof of concept at a lab level, it's good enough for venture capitalists to actually invest. So show us the total addressable market, show us the opportunity for growth, show us your R&D, show us your scalability projections. And if you have good founders, I think there's a lot of capital willing to actually chase, because food and agriculture together account for almost 20 to 25% of greenhouse gas emissions. And if India has to actually achieve its net zero goals, we have to invest in food and agtech, of which plant proteins is an integral part. So with that discussion background, I'm happy to answer any questions later, but that's effectively what I'd like to state.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. It was very, very useful. And moving on, I want to also bring in one company to have a flavor of what goes on in the plant-based foods industry. We have about more than 145 attendees, and we will try to give time to everyone so that they can showcase their company in a very brief way to all of you. So requesting all the speakers to keep their discussion between 3 to 5 minutes maximum, hopefully 2 to 3 minutes. And all the companies, when I call you to speak, below 1 minute, please. So first of all, I want to call Alt Food. Aman Khandelwal, if you can kindly come and share some of your experience, but within 1 minute, please.
Hi, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Aman Khandelwal, CEO and co-founder of Alt Foods. We are a plant-based milk company in India and currently making one of the most novel plant-based milk present in the complete world right now. It's a mix of highly nutrition-rich and climate-smart ingredients, which are millets. And being vegan co-founders ourselves, we have done almost 2 years of R&D in the product and came out with a novel formulation which works really well on the taste front, on the application front, and also making the cost effective alternative available in the market. We have been also funded by people in the panel also, and we are very happy that we have been engaged with mission-aligned investors, especially, which is important for us who understands and exchange synergies in our vision to go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so he talked about investors in the panel. So who is that? Is it you, Jinesh, Ahimsa, VC, Jinesh?
Absolutely,
like
very proud of us, and great to see the company moving forwards really, really well, progressing fantastically. So great to see you again, Aman.
Thanks, Jinesh. Cheers.
Would you like to introduce yourself, Jinesh, and start that discussion?
Sure, absolutely. And just finishing up, I think what Aman was mentioning, fantastic product. I'm a user of it every day as well. Well before we invested in Ahimsa VC, I've been using all foods products. I highly recommend everyone to try. Obviously, they're a portfolio company, so we are obviously going to support them, but they are likely one of the best alternative milk products in the market globally. I would go as far as saying that. Just quickly here, I'm Jinesh Shah. I'm the Chief Investment Officer of Ahimsa VC. We are the first and only VC fund in India that's focused exclusively on investing in alternative proteins and alternative materials. More clearly speaking, or in different words, we're investing in companies that are taking animals out of the consumption equation. And we are squarely a for-profit VC because we see a great intersection between both the impact that these companies will be able to create on the future of food, the future of materials, and the future of consumptions overall, and the commercial scale and profitability that they can achieve. Now, these startups that we invest in are Indian startups. They may, for their legal sort of necessities, fundraising necessities, base themselves, legally domicile out of Singapore or Delaware. We often see that happening. A lot of entrepreneurs and investors here in the room will relate to this. And our focus is the startups that are doing this both for India and from India to the world as we wait for more and more awareness and demand to pick up in India. We've invested in 4 startups so far. And I see several familiar faces from the portfolio company and, of course, from the larger entrepreneurial and investment community. So hello to everyone today. Great to see all of you here. And thank you for having us here today, PBFIA. Good to be here with the whole community today. Our 4 startups currently include Demolish Foods from Bangalore. They are focusing on creating a very novel IP around whole cuts of meat, which is again something that's not been done in the market. And if you just pick, for example, just the US markets, about 60% of all the meat sales in the US are whole cuts, and cold cuts of meat, like the chicken breasts, chicken livers, etc. And that company itself is already doing phenomenally well. We were the first check in the company, very proud investors. Ravli and the team are doing phenomenal work there. Our second company is an alternative materials company based out of Calcutta that's using plant cellulose fibers again to create alternative leathers. We will not dig into that a lot more because it's a little off topic, focuses on food today. But they're making 100% bio-based alternative leather, and one of the largest fashion houses in the country is going to be launching their leather line soon with this alternative leather. Our third company, of course, again, we just spoke about them, All Foods. We just heard about them. Fantastic product, and I encourage all of you, especially in certain cities such as Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, Delhi, and even a few more, I believe, you can get same-day delivery of the product. So, I recommend you guys try that. And the fourth company is a company named Fix44 that's using another, subcategory within the all protein industry called the precision fermentation industry, which has certain relevance to the plant-based industry as well, to create dairy products, whey, casein, the fats in milk, and milk overall without using a cow at all. We typically park in about $150,000 check, or about roughly 1.2 crores at the current conversion ratio in companies. We are typically in 3 out of 4 companies, we have been the very first check in the companies. We are not afraid to put our money where our mouth is. When I say that, I mean there is shortage of patient capital and capital that funds R&D in our country. That's a very well-known fact. And that's the reason why we came into existence, to ensure that good entrepreneurs, good ideas, good businesses can get that early capital. And more than just the capital, we have all been within the industry for a while. I'll quickly just run through what our partners and teams entails. The last piece here. Our partners include the current CFO of Dr. Reddy's Lab, Parag Agarwal, Sandeep Sibal, who is the ex-Asia head of Qualcomm and senior advisor to the Ambani brothers, and ex-IIT Madras alumni, and Sethi Vaidyanathan from the APJ family. They own several businesses. They're a conglomerate across the country. Shaleen Shah and 𝗬𝗕𝗙𝗀𝗻𝗃𝗃, they come from Ahimsa Foundation in the US. They are a UHNI that has funded anything and everything within this domain, including the Game Changers documentary. They've anchored practically any VC fund you have heard of in the alternative protein domain globally, early investors, and just Beyond Meat, Upside Foods, that's Memphis Meats. The list is endless. Personally, I have been heading up the fund for about 6 months. We are just about a year old as a fund. We're a small team, all based out of India, traveling around the world. We're all very mission aligned and vegan and plant-based in our own personal lives. I've been involved in this space since about 2013-14, since the birth of this space in the US, when companies such as Impossible, Just, and Beyond were very much in their infancy, operating out of garages. I've had my own startup in the domain called Milk Guys in the past, a plant-based e-commerce platform that was funded by Y Combinator, Costa Ventures, Fair VC. Also an athlete named Jason Kidd of the NBA, who's a Hall of Famer there, 2-time Olympic champion, and currently the coach of the Dallas Mavericks. Beyond this, I also ran a company called Altex Ventures, where I've independently consulted with and advised dozens and dozens of all-protein startups across 6 continents, be it in the plant-based, the fermentation, cell-based space. Have had a few startups in those domains myself. Just love being in this domain, working with entrepreneurs and investors who are trying to create a better future of food and consumption. And that continues to be my passion and our passion and mission at Ahimsa VC.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Jinesh. And requesting everybody to keep it more brief because we have more than 160 people here right now. And now I would like to first call one of the great speakers and thinkers and expert in the food and agriculture domain, Rajesh Srivastava. Rajesh, before you come in, I know you have been the chairman of Rabo Equity and silently working as Prowess advisors in our plant-based food industry. I do not know whether you have made your first investment or not, but this is a great opportunity for the industry to introduce themselves to you. So with your permission, I would like to first bring in 1 or 2 investee member companies who would like to introduce themselves so that you get really a good flavor of the industry before you speak. One of that is GoodDot. GoodDot is a very visible company in our sector, one of the early ones. And if Abhishek Sinha is here, requesting Abhishek to come in first.
Yeah, hi, thanks Sanjay. Hi everyone. So my name is Abhishek Sinha. I represent GoodDot, which is based out of Udaipur. Our effort is to curate, tasty and affordable plant-based meat, not just for India, but for across the globe. So we have been at it for a while now, since our official company formation in 2016. What we have seen that, globally, the first major move has been made by the likes of Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods of the world. But I do believe the next gear of this movement will be taste, very closely followed by affordability. So this is where our efforts are. So, as a team, we are clearly committed to break the price barrier of meat by a significant margin. And, with some of our recent products, which will be there in the market, we have managed to do that. And that is going to be our focus. from what we have seen with our conversation with the major players in the space, I think 2023 will be the benchmark year for plant-based meat in India, because you will see a lot of the global major QSRs and luxury properties, premium restaurant chains promoting these products. So it won't be very far off when, plant-based meat will become a part of the menu of the restaurants in India, just like paneer is. So that's our focus, and we are working hard towards that, and thankfully God has been kind.
Great. Thank you, Abhishek. And before I call in Sadhika Agarwal from Pseudo Foods, requesting Narari, if we can have a quick poll about that, how many of you are actually looking for the funding in 2023? It will be a very nice way to actually know. So if with the help of Narahari, we can introduce a poll right now and requesting all of you to kindly give your feedback on this. And requesting now Sadhika Agarwal from Pseudo Foods. She also got funded. So Pseudo Foods got the advantage of getting a good funding recently. Sadhika, you are there?
Yes, sir, I'm there. Hi, everyone. This is Sadhika. I have co-founded Pseudo Foods. We're a plant-based meat company based out of Bangalore. We actually started operations about 6 months back. That's when we raised our first round of capital. We've been fortunate to have very interesting sort of investors on our cap table. Java Capital and Beta Plus Capital are among the institutional investors that are invested in our company. Apart from that, we have
Okay, so I think Sadhika's video has frozen. So requesting now Rajesh Srivastava, kindly come in and share your thoughts with all of us.
Thank you, Sanjay. I think I don't know if I'm as qualified as my previous speakers were in regard to plant-based foods and also in the BC space. I've been an investor in a late stage scene last 14, 15 years with Rabobank. And so my qualification essentially is that I worked in food and agri for over 25 years in Rabo and even before. So I think I'll bring and I'll share some experiences which I do have in the sector. Going forward, now that I founded Prowess Advisors with my other co-founder Rohit, who's also in the call here, I think we will go in for all these things. But at the moment, it's an investment banking platform where we are helping companies raise money. So it's not, don't be surprised if one of the other speakers get someone from my team coming on with some proposals. So please be prepared. But on a serious note, I think it's important that with all the youngsters and the people who are setting up this great innovative projects, I must share some of the things which I think are important for you to go ahead. What you need in a company to succeed, or some speakers mentioned the business plan, all of that. I think 3-4 things I would like to highlight. One, extremely important that you keep in mind, especially in India, that the taste goes hand in hand with health and other benefits for sure. I know we talk about the carbon, we talk about all of that and the net zero goal. That's very, very important. But it will be some time before we really sacrifice all this taste part for other reasons. So I think the R&D is extremely critical in this space, where you have to ensure that the palatability of a product actually is as important as other things. And that's where the innovation comes into play. The second thing which is important is that, do not chase this B2C space necessarily. I think the fad which I see in many companies is that we want to be a branded player, and because that's where the money lies. I think that piece is wrong. I think globally, if you track companies, B2B is as good as B2C. Of course, depends on what project, which sector, what you do, but it's very profitable. Probably it's more resilient, and probably it's more lasting. So do not be afraid to say that we are a very good B2B ingredient player. So that's the second thing. And the third thing which is important is, again, for all these innovative companies and youngsters who come into play, that you do not chase valuations. It's like the proverbial that don't kill the hen which lays golden eggs. I think wait for your time. I think what I've seen in companies after companies failing is that while, some of us, all my brothers, fellows in the VC space, sometimes there's too much of money chasing too few projects. I think what happens typically is that you get a very, very good value initially at the seed or Series A round, and then it becomes a problem because many of us have really a big mess going on if we have to write down or mark down our investments for Series B and Series C. Our own investors don't let it happen. So please be sure that wait for your time, rise gradually, raise your valuation gradually, and succeed. I think scalability is key because you need to show results for consistently 2-3 years. So do not fall flat after a couple of years. I think we want to see all of you succeed, and that's where my advice to everyone is that let it step up gradually. As I say, that you can climb 2 steps of a ladder at a time, but not 3. Don't try that. That's risky because you'll fall flat. And the last but not the least is that, I think Jinesh said very clearly that, people who come in, you have got to be obviously having a sound business plan, sound management, all of that. I think it is key that you're also resilient because what will happen typically is that in this kind of a space, you will get hurdles, you'll get humps, you'll get some jitters, you'll get some problems, but you need to continue with the same kind of resilience and steadfastness. You cannot let go of your commitment. That's not going to happen. And why I say this is also connected to the fact that globally and especially in India, consumerism is something which is changing dynamically. Every day you'll find. I know India never ceases to surprise you. What has happened after the pandemic, and that's the collateral benefit in a way of COVID, which we had in India, especially. Lots has changed and lot will change, and so fast it'll change, like digital economy, that some of us will completely be taken aback. So when you do your business planning, you have to be like an astrologer. You have to be very predictive. Please track, please talk, please discuss, and really focus on this changing paradigm of consumerism. What will happen next 5 years is the key for your success. If that is not going to come, and that is something which I'm happy that I learned in Rabobank, with so much of sector analysis and sector specialists present around the world, that the tracking, the predictiveness, the kind of analysis which people have done was tremendous. So I think that's my advice to all the project developers and also the VC guys, colleagues, that I think the more you are solid in your predictiveness of consumerism, the more chances of your success are. So thank you. I won't take much time. I will have to leave early, but as I said, my co-founder and our MD CEO Rohit is on the line. Any questions later on, he'll be able to answer. Thank you, Sanjay, for inviting.
Thank you, Rajesh. 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗡 is a major VC in India in food and agriculture space, and we have their managing director, managing partner, Jinesh Shah. Jinesh, are you there? Can you get in, please?
Yes, Sanjay, I am there. Yeah, hi. So thanks, Sanjay, for this. Guys, I mean, after listening to Rajesh and Jinesh, I don't think there's much to say from a advice to entrepreneurs. I think my suggestion is that every entrepreneur goes through his own journey, and it's very different from other entrepreneurs who have done in the past. So figuring your own way is very important. I can tell you what we as VCs look from an entrepreneurs, right? we are investors who probably prefer to be the first institutional investors, write the first check of $2 million, and hopefully take the company to its long journey with other VCs and hopefully become an IPO story at some point. So we look from when we look from investing companies, we call it ourselves investing on 4 T's, which is the first T is the team, right? Getting a right team is the most crucial thing, right? Because that's 8 out of 10 times the reason why the companies will succeed or not succeed. And when we look at team, it's not about saying that I got a one great entrepreneur or one great founder who knows about technology only. But we need a combination of people who knows technology. We need a team member who can do sales. Because any good innovation, any good product, what you make, if you're not able to sell in the markets, it doesn't really matter. The other is what we call it TAM, which is the total addressable market. Uh, People need to figure out whether they want to sell the products in the Indian markets, which is definitely a very painful market, right? I mean, uh, we don't see India to be a very large market for any plant-based alternatives. So figuring out which market you want to focus around, what kind of customer segment you want to focus around, truly premium products or maybe slightly better than the average cost price of the existing products and make it a more mass premium. Third is what we call traction, right? Because Indian startups have been very good about creating early traction. So figuring when you make your products, when you're doing your R&D, figuring whether the customer is going to buy it at the price point what you want to sell it, at the taste what you are doing it, and figuring out what else to be done, right? The biggest challenge sometimes what really happens is that every startup says I'm a real alternate to a animal meat, right? And actually when you are not, right, you are not trying to say I'm going to make an exact replica in terms of taste, smell, texture. And if that doesn't happen, your product starts getting compared to saying what is the gap around rather than people trying to buy your product on its own merit. And the fourth is the technology T, which is very crucial, right? What is the moat you are creating? If you're just going to process some concentrates from plants which are known to others without some value addition, at some point that moat would become a commodity and you will start facing a lot of competition. So we prefer to people invest in companies which are focused on all the four T's and and create a company which is standing on its own and hopefully create a scale for itself. So that's basically what we look for companies. But every entrepreneur needs to figure that own journey. I mean, trying to replicate what other successful entrepreneurs or companies have done, or trying to learn from investors also, because most of the investors think that we know what we are doing is right. But we all know for the fact that out of 10 attempts we do it, maybe 3 succeed, 7 is where we also fail. So figuring own piece out and taking this forward would really help you out. That would be my point. Thanks, everyone. Yeah.
Oh, so you're on mute.
𝗬𝗫𝗙𝗀𝗃 from 𝗪𝗏, he's the founder of 𝗪𝗏 Ventures.
Hi, thank you, Sanjay, for having us over. Let me start by giving a very short intro to what 𝗪𝗏 is. So I have been part of the food industry for over 34 years, starting across hospitality, worked in private equity, and then as last 14 years as a CEO for global ingredient companies in the food industry. I have recently floated 𝗪𝗏 Ventures, which basically deals with strategy building, direction, and fundraise for startups. Since a year and a half, we have invested in or got funding for over 18 startups in our portfolio, several of them now inching towards Series A. In my recent past at Griffith Foods, we've also incubated what we've an entrepreneurial investment company called Nourish Ventures, and we were instrumental in investing into companies like Live Kindly Collective, Regrained, and specifically for the plant-based industry in Blue Nalu, which is a company in cellular agriculture. So been great to be part of other investment ventures like New Crop Capital, which has, invested into several stellar unicorns in the plant-based industry. Going across to my thoughts on where we are in terms of the industry, I would say that while we are inspired by the West, but the products need to be adapted locally. The adoption curve is different for food innovation versus other innovation or other innovations or other companies or products. And therefore, we need to see it singularly in that way. There are early innovators, early adopters, and the maturity curve is starting to form, but that's still far away from where we need to be. It's not about the patties, it's not about the seek kebabs, it's not about the shamis being rolled out. We need to see how we're going to integrate or assimilate these products into our day-to-day eating. And that's going to come from technology, it's going to come from particularly texture, it's going to come from the taste. And I think that's where my advice to the founders on this venture, on this call, is that they focus on the taste aspect, because that is going to be primary to how customers see it. So who's the customer? Are we looking at the flexitarian? Are we looking at the vegetarian? Are we looking at the health? Or are we looking at the purpose-led buyer? I think each of us are going to singularly look at who that customer is for us. It's too early to compare ourselves to the meat industry right now in terms of size. I think a lot of people say, hey, plant-based is still such a small fraction of the meat industry. Are we really going to make a difference? And those doubts start clearing up. The aspect is that it's taken the meat industry over 70, 80 years of maturity. And I'm talking about India. 70, 80 years of maturity. The plant-based industry has been here for less than 10 years. Give it time. Give yourselves time. I think there's a lot more which is here to come for this industry. And giving how Sanjay is leading the initiative and other companies are, I think it's going to make a bigger impact as we go ahead. To be the test of success for us, the test of success is how are you going to do sales in areas like Telangana, in Tamil Nadu, in Lucknow, in Hyderabad. Those are the areas where I would say test your products. Look at how you are successful in those marquee regions which are very heavily invested for non-vegetarian food. Internationally, we look at Brazil and how the success of plant-based foods is doing in countries like Brazil. We spoke about affordability. Affordability is going to be key to getting quantum success here into the traction. We need to move beyond just the seek kebabs and the value-added products to getting into products. And I know a few of you have started launching that, is products that the housewife can buy and prepare for themselves at home in their own taste. That needs to be done. That's going to be the quantum shift to the next level of consumption. And finally, it's going to be the aspect of looking at sachetization. We have to, everybody is selling at between 300 to 400 rupees for the same packet of 300 to 400 grams. We need to look at how we are going to look at new customers being adapted with sachetization, look at adopting or acquiring new customers with a different packaging size. Call it a green discount, maybe not a green premium that you give on the products, but let more consumers come in. With that, I'd like to introduce a colleague of mine, 𝗬𝗙 Agarwal. 𝗬𝗙, so he works with Inflection Point Advisors, which I also fund. 𝗬𝗙 is going to introduce very briefly Inflection Point Advisors. Over to you, 𝗬𝗙.
Yeah, thank you, 𝗬𝗙, for that introduction.
𝗬𝗙, can you hold for a moment, please?
Yes.
Ramesh Alapati is leaving. Stay with us, 𝗬𝗙. We will get the chance of introducing you properly.
Sure.
Ramesh Alapati, he is the founder director of Rain Advisory LLP. He is leaving. So before that, I want Ramesh to speak. And also, Sadhika, in case you have joined back, can you complete your introduction? You were speaking from Pseudo Foods.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Ramesh, even Sadhika is there. Just a moment. Sadhika?
Hi, sir. Yes,
can you complete your introduction before Ramesh?
Sure. Sorry, I was having network issues earlier, everyone. So as I was saying, we raised our first round of capital earlier this year, just about when we started operations. Among institutional investors, we have Java Capital and Beta Plus Capital as our investors. Apart from that, we have some very well-known founders and ex-founders on our cap table. People like 𝗣𝗕𝗙𝗚𝗏 Bajaj, who's the founder and CEO of Sirona, and Ravi Saxena, who's the founder of Wonder Chef. I think ever since we started operations, firstly, we're currently just based out of Bangalore, and we'll be expanding to 2 other metro cities over the next 3 to 4 months. Apart from focusing on expanding sales, our focus has been on developing a really unique product. R&D has specifically been a focus for us. We have a 2-member team that focuses on R&D and product development, one of whom is a French culinary operations and food production expert who's worked across France and US and comes with very valuable experience. We have an expert food scientist who joined us about 4 months back and comes with experience having developed value-added meat products and plant-based meat products in her prior roles. And I think apart from product development and R&D, our focus is also to build a brand that hopefully becomes synonymous with the category. So I think I'll wrap up with that and hopefully, look forward to connecting with more people from this community.
Great. Thanks, Sadhika. Ashok Subramanian from Crystal Ventures and then Rajesh. Ashok, please.
Yeah, hi. Crystal Venture Studio is a AF2 category fund. We will be up in the market. We are currently in the process of rolling out a fund. We aim to invest in 12 startups, up to 12 startups next year in the plant-based product space, mainly focused on food and protein and nutraceuticals. We are based in Bangalore. We come from a strong perspective of having both international, domestic, and industry experience in terms of building enterprises in the FMCG space. We believe that there are 3 specific markets for plant-based products, especially food products. One is the urban market, where the food culture is very different. Then the larger market in terms of the Bharat, which is the rural market. And then third is the export markets, where the markets are different in terms of different countries that you are targeting. We bring a lot of experience in supply chain and advisory around R&D in terms of looking at product market fit for specific markets. So we are basically a seed stage VC. We are looking to be the first institutional investor in this space as well. And we aim to collaborate with other venture capital peers and partners in this space in terms of putting additional capital if needed. So we are open for co-investments as well.
Great. Thank you, Ashok. Now, Ramesh Alapati, he's the founder director of Rain Advisory LLP.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjay. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. And thanks, Sanjay. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me to such a large gathering. Very delighted to see so many of you here. Sorry, I'm out at a meeting, so I have a problem with the camera, but I just thought to grab this opportunity to quickly introduce myself. So we are based in Bangalore, and we are a ESG sustainability focused consulting organization with interests in agri-tech and naturally plant-based proteins based companies are of interest to us as well. And we work very closely with a wide spectrum of companies. And I heard one of the earlier speakers talking about looking at the dimension of climate to agri and plant, and that is exactly what we believe is the value that we can add. So simply put, we want to work with companies to kind of grow their sustainability journey, and we would be happy to support in whichever way and means that we could work with them to kind of build their sustainability story. So investment advisory is also part of our service offering. So I'll be looking forward to kind of doing a one-on-one connect through Sanjay at some point, and then take the discussion forward. So thank you all once again. Nice meeting you.
Thank you, Ramesh. And Hemendra Mathur is a veteran investor in food and agri space. Hemendra, are you there? Kindly introduce yourself, Hemendra.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Sanjay?
Yes.
Okay. So thanks, Sanjay, for this invitation and organizing this wonderful forum. I see hundreds of entrepreneurs on this call, which is very exciting. So just a brief introduction. I work as venture partner with Bharat Innovation Fund. It's an early stage deep tech fund. We haven't invested in plant-based food so far, but through our incubator called 𝗬𝗫, we have supported quite a few. I think Proeon is one of them, which is on the call today. I'm also co-founder of 𝗬𝗙. It's a platform for connecting startups in the food and agriculture sector with industry, with policymakers, and with investors, incubators, etc. And again, we are very excited about this space, and we have done quite a few knowledge sessions and also intend to do few research papers on this subject through 𝗬𝗙. So happy to collaborate with Sanjay and his team as well as other entrepreneurs in bringing more interesting research topics around this subject. In my personal capacity, I do invest in some of the startups. One of them is Asphorus Technologies, I think, which is working on quite a few plant-based protein products. So I'm very excited about the space, and I look forward to sort of look at more investment in this space in time to come. I think lots have been said by other investors in terms of do's and don'ts, so I won't repeat that. All I want to say that don't position yourself as an alternate protein to meat. Just it can be positioned as mainstream protein, right? Because as soon as we say it's alternate to meat products, the market becomes very small. I still believe meat substitution market in India is still a very niche from a customer perspective. So just focus on a product, and as been mentioned by previous speaker, focus on taste, texture, convenience, affordability. I think that the taste is probably 90%, followed by convenience, health, texture, etc. So just make sure that whatever product you develop has a huge amount of customer centricity. As an investor, frankly, I want to see people who can convince me to to believe that you can build 100 crore brand in this category. We consume almost $800 billion worth of foods, but unfortunately I don't see too many Indian domiciled food brands, except the ones which are promoted by corporates, which has gone beyond 100, 200 crores. There are very handful of them. So do you have it in you to build a 100 crore brand? I think that to me is the only criteria. I'm sure a lot goes into it, the team, the traction, the product development, everything, the branding and the distribution. But I think that to me is a key parameter. And unless we bring that kind of scale, we will always be a niche category, right? And I'm very hopeful, given the quality of entrepreneurs and the energy of entrepreneurs that I see. I'm hopeful that we will see many brands, and if you can build a very good product with a very convincing part to scale and part to profitability, I think that's going to be a success mantra in time to come. And with that, I wish you all the very best. I'll put my coordinates in the chat box. Anyone of you want to connect with me directly, please feel free to do so. So thanks, Sanjay, for inviting me, and wish you all the very best with this effort.
Thank you, Hemendra. We also got the result of the poll that we did. Can you tell us what is the poll like? Narhari, and I'm not able to see the hands which had gone up so that I can call those people, those who are in a hurry to speak. And I know Sagar Tandon, you are there, so we have to get you in very quickly. And before that, I've seen some of you have put in some your contact details, which is very good, so that others can note of it and find out how to interact with you in the future. So you please continue to write your contact details there. So now going to Sagar Tandon. Before that, Narari, can you tell us what was the outcome?
Yes, sir. So we have 48 responses and 72%, that is 35 people have said that yes, they are looking um, at raising funds in the year 2023, and 8 people have said no, that is 16%, and 7, that is around 14%, have said maybe. We have 50 responses.
Okay, and
so far.
also I want to know, some of the people have raised their hands, but before that, can we have Sagar Tandon from Beyond Impact?
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay, for inviting me, and some very interesting points put in by Rishabh and Jinesh, which I resonate a lot. So quickly about me. So I'm partner at Beyond Impact. It's a global fund focusing on alternative protein and materials. With the fund one, we have invested at almost 23 companies. Companies like few people have put in here today. We were talking about 𝗀𝗵𝗿𝗀, Geltor. We have invested in Blue Nalu. So it's from cell space to plant-based, to algae-based, to material space, as well as fermentation companies. Also, we have invested across the domain. Recently, we launched the second fund somewhere in March, April, and we are quite active in the space. We have made around 10 or so investments. 6 or 7 were follow on from our fund one, but 3 are like the new investments that we have made. Quickly, I just want to touch base upon not talking about the evaluation perspective, but more on the plant-based industry view that we are having. Somebody actually raised this point. I think I don't think so. Branded B2C companies are the only way to go. We are seeing very low revenue to valuation multiples, even in like all the developed markets. The valuation have come really down. So snack-based B2C companies are not the only ones. I think thinking beyond that and going deeper in technology perspective to think about ingredients, think about enabling the plant-based space so that the space can grow, or even having some kind of an hybrid approach also that we are seeing with few companies is you are an ingredient company doing precision fermentation or molecular farming and producing certain kind of ingredients that can go into the plant-based protein, plant-based meat, plant-based dairy to improve the taste, texture, formula, aroma, whatever is that. Because I don't know, like one of us actually said it as an investor is a lot of people are keep going back to eating meat because they are not able to have this. So until unless we have a big retention, I think we cannot solve problem at scale. And and the other thing, I think what beautiful Sanjay, you guys are actually doing with the protein cluster is we are actually looking to make few investments in the global market, also to support something around protein isolates or HMMA, because if investments don't happen at the infrastructure or the enabler level, I don't see that we can actually scale the industry. Because right now, most companies, even at the top level also, which have raised decent amount of money, are not even having $1 million in revenue. So we really need to scale up and look very differently how we are looking at. The last point I will make is, I think the last commenter was making about that. Look companies, if you are, for example, a B2C company, and you are doing CPG, I would say that we as an investor really heavily rely on CAC and GTM. Like really we need to understand if it works. And if you're an ingredient company, if you're coming to an investor, we want to see solid LOIs and MTAs in place. And potentially, if I'm talking in terms of US dollars, at least 7-digit numbers of LOIs, MTAs to look at. Going forward, I think valuations have come down quite a lot, which is good also for the industry because some valuations were bloated in the industry. Like in some companies that we have invested have crossed 500 million, which we were not able to justify also why it has happened. Companies doing a lot of bridge rounds. So if you are raising money now on next few months, I would suggest that can you cut down and raise a small amount, because a lot of companies, even at Series A, Series B, Series C, they decided to do, if they're raising a Series B, they said they'll raise a Series B bridge. If they're raising a Series C, they decided they do a Series B bridge. So this is a very common phenomena even in our portfolio companies. So do look at that. A lot of noise is fading away. One last advice I will give is we have not activated a lot in the industry. Get strategic investors in. Big food manufacturers like small, even small SMEs or MSM, medium enterprises, which are of 100 million US dollar in revenue, and there are few which are doing 700 crore to 1000 crore. Can you engage them to invest in you? Because they will help you to scale up quite a lot. I think that's where some of my points will lie in. Happy to, we are a global investor. We have not made any investment in India. We are still formulating thesis. Jinesh said it. I don't think so. Plant-based space in India is still big enough, but we are looking from a very different lens. We think that this can become a huge hub to reduce costs globally. More products will go outside as exports, but essentially after a few years, probably products can be sold here as well.
So one question, very quick question, Sagar. Are you going to invest in the next 1 month? Are you going to zero in on one of these? Makar Sankranti is coming on 15th of July. If you make any invest in Makar Sankranti, I can tell you it will become a unicorn.
Yes, for sure. We have just made a very interesting investment just to give you a flavor what's happening in the global industry. A company which I won't be able to take the name, which we have not publicized it. But if you have heard of Impossible Foods, they have this very specific ingredient as heme, and we have invested in a company which is making heme or myoglobin as an ingredient to have that iron, taste, texture, aroma of when you actually cook a meat, when you eat a meat. That very specific ingredient company that we have invested using precision fermentation they are doing. And what they have done is very beautifully, which gives a lot of confidence to us. They have brought in the biggest juggernaut in the industry, which do precision fermentation. Again, these strategic investors will help you scale and get investors like us to also support. So that's where I'm of an opinion like Fix44, like one of the company Ahimsa is invested. So do look at B2B, do look at ingredients, do look at a specialty novel ingredients. Just don't go and start a B2C branded company. I think India can become a powerhouse of supporting a lot of international companies.
37 people have asked me for your mobile number. Can I give your number to them, Sagar?
Yes. Oh my God.
Yes.
I'll just put
So you are in for some great times and a lot of work for you. So now requesting Hiren Agarwal from, Hiren, we had interrupted you. I'm very sorry for that. Hiren, can you please complete your introduction?
Yeah, so thanks Sanjay for that, giving me an opportunity to share my company over this. So I am working in the investment department in Inflection Point Ventures. So Inflection Point Ventures was started in 2018, where we have 7,000 plus investors on a platform across all the sectors. So and IPV is a conceptualized to drive the value creation and leverage the diverse investor community with a careful curated set of startups. So we follow a sector agnostic process where we have 140 plus startups on our platform, where with an average ticket size of 3 to 3.5 CR at very early stage. So IPV is among the top early stage investors in the country by the number of deals and the number of members that we have. So we look at many sectors like B2C, D2C, all tech related sectors as well. So as the comments and the pointers that has been laid out by all the investors, like the scalability, cutting down the cost, proof of concept and the taste and the health, the texture. all points are covered very well. I just would like to add some pointers on the basis of how we evaluate. So at early stage, we evaluate the founder on this 6 to 7 pointers, which is the vision, leadership, the business acumen of that person, the passion and the motivation about this problem solving skills and networking ability. Would he able to uh, make that business to 100 CR in the coming? So these are the evaluations what we do, and would love to connect with all the startups and the investors. So I'm sharing my coordinates there. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Sanjay,
Jiren.
for that opportunity.
Would like to now bring in Pratiji. Pratiji, people keep asking me this question that will Kerry keep on making profit from us or will also invest in India? And or would Kerry be interested in buying some of the shares in these startups? And while Pratiji gets ready, requesting also Pranav. Pranav, you have been around investing in plant-based food company. Would you like to share some of your experience of investing in the plant-based food companies?
Right. You want me to go now, Sanjay?
Yes.
Yeah. So hi everybody. I'm Pranav. I think it's again even I see a lot of familiar faces. I won't be turning my camera on because I'm facing a few issues here. But yeah, quickly to sum up my experience in investing in the plant-based space for a while now. I think a lot of pain points, or I'd say moot points that have been discussed before by both the Jineshes, by Rajesh and Sagar, they've rightly pointed out. I think one issue which glaringly stands out, especially with plant-based food companies, is the high logistics cost. I mean, a lot of you have spoken about how the price point is not attractive enough yet to get that volume. And then, startups say we can probably reduce price once we get that volume. So it's like a vicious cycle that goes on. But I think there should be some sort of innovation in terms of logistics. That's something I haven't seen. Everybody is still following the same hub and spoke sort of distribution model. And I think that drives up the cost a lot because your direct or your raw materials as such isn't too expensive, especially in a country like India. I mean, companies like Just and all were looking to source from India, source moong and all from India. So we have abundant raw material, but then the logistics innovation is a big challenge. And as Sagar rightly said, it's about building infrastructure. So it again comes back to this. If you're able to innovate in terms of your logistical infrastructure, I think that will be a huge pain point that will drive it away and make prices attractive. Because if you see, there is a lot of interest. I mean, a lot of people are looking to, maybe not with plant-based meats, but I see a huge opportunity with plant-based dairy. A lot of people are looking to make that switch in terms of dairy. And I think most of the times the price point is where, there's a big hiccup to make that switch because it's a daily essential. It's not like a once in a week thing that you're doing. So that is one part. Then another part, again, where Sagar, he mentioned, I was actually going to mention this point about, innovation in terms of raw material as well. How he mentioned about heme. So I'm not sure if Sagar is talking about the startup in India. If he is, then I think I know which one he's talking about. But there are companies working towards that, which I think can make a huge leap in terms of your taste and texture. Which is again a very common complaint that you get from plant-based meat from a non-vegetarian or from a flexitarian, that it's not, good enough. That last mile of your mouth flavor doesn't come, and which is sort of turns them away and they get back to eating meat. So I think that would be a great place to look at. India might not be ready for plant-based meats or it's too early, but I think in terms of a raw material supply chain, there's massive potential. I think even when I was working with Sanjay sir on the first PBFI report and we were trying to chalk down different issues, logistics and then this whole raw material supply chain was a major, driver to get the plant-based industry out. Yeah, I think that's about it. Those are my 2 cents. If there are any questions or anything, please feel to reach out. I'll put my coordinates in the chat. Thanks, Sanjay. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Pratiji, I do not know whether you heard me saying, so I would repeat. A lot of people keep asking, will Kerry keep on making profits from India or will also invest in India? And whether you have money to invest into the startups here. So these are the 2 questions for you.
Sanjay, can you repeat? I lost the last bit of your question.
So the question is, will 𝗬𝗙𝗃𝗃 will invest in India in the infrastructure? And second, will you invest in the Indian companies?
Absolutely, Sanjay. So while we've all been talking about the nascent stage plant protein is in India, and when I say plant protein, I'm talking about both meat alternative and dairy alternative. It is definitely nascent. But the way at 𝗃𝗃 and also personally, the way we look at the market is not for today. So all the investments that we do intend to make, we're looking at a horizon, obviously starting from next 2 years to 5 years. You know, that's where we think the market in India has the potential to become significant. Where we are currently right now, let's say in the next 2 years, I do agree with a lot of panelists who have stated exactly what I feel. India right now is very small compared to the global markets. But even when you look at the global markets, there's hardly any conversion percentage that markets have achieved when we look at a meat alternative, the category as a meat alternative or a dairy alternative. So the way we have also started to pivot in this journey is that we are not looking at this market, and especially in India, we shouldn't be looking at this market only as an alternative, right? There are, of course, rural, urban, all of that GTM strategies have to be built into the plans. But to me, I think we have to be more creative, whether we are in a B2B space or in a B2C space, irrespective. One has to be more creative on how you are positioning your product. There is enough and more, even within India, which can be done in the short term 2 to 3 years period, because India as a market is protein deficient, whether you eat meat or you don't eat meat. So there is a large section of consumers markets that can be tapped if this plant-based was to be positioned as a neutral product, something which is good for you, something which is high on protein, and obviously is devoid of all the antibiotics, supply chain inefficiencies that a dairy or a meat product brings in. So, a lot of things can be done if one starts to think more creatively. The other piece, which as of now, only a brand like GoodDot has done, which is a shelf-stable product. I think there is a lot of merit to look at that kind of format as well, because unless you are able to creatively think on how to reduce cost, I don't think whether India or even globally, anyone will be able to justify creation of the market. My last point will be, we keep talking about taste and texture. That is definitely, I will say one is the king and one is the queen. But unless you actually have a price point which is lucrative for the consumer to try the product, I don't think in any category one will be able to create a dent, because only if you're able to incentivize a customer to first try the product will a repeat purchase happen. So we need to break out from that circle of pricing the product at a premium and laying everything on the consumer to try the product for sustainability reason or try the product for animal cruelty reason. We can't base everything on consumers. We as an industry, whether an ingredient supplier or a brand manufacturer, need to do that much more effort and help create that category in a manner that we incentivize a consumer to at least first pick the product and then probably rate the product on taste and texture. So unless that happens, I think we'll still be in the same kind of discussions, maybe in the next 12 to 15 months.
Thank you, 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗃 is a great friend. I know her. We worked together since a very, very long time. Rajivan, I know you are not looking for investment nor you are investing. And I know you want to take our members to Thailand for leisure or for work. Can you please tell your agenda to people here? You're on the mute.
Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you, Sanjay, for this opportunity. I represent a company called VNU Exhibitions, and the company is based in the Netherlands. And we organize trade fairs, especially on agro-food industry in Europe, Asia, and Africa. We are coming out with a new concept called Healthy Food Asia. This will be scheduled in July, from 5th to 6th July 2023. And this is specifically showcasing organic food and free from food, and also plant-based foods. So the idea for me is to, promote Indian brands abroad, and specifically in the Southeast Asian market. So if anybody is interested, I will leave my contact details in the chat. They can contact me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sanjay.
So just wanted to call out, we have shared a form in the chat wherein you can fill all your details, so we can share your details with the investors or the companies. So kindly fill the form out. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll do that.
Sorry, Rajiv, when I stepped away from the desk, I thought you will speak for long, but you were very, very brief. Okay, now inviting Nikhil Srinivas is also an investor. Nikhil, would you like to come in?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
One sec. Let me just. I actually joined in from my phone, but let me just switch on my camera very quickly. Should be visible now. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello, Dr. Sanjay. Thanks for this opportunity. Right, I wasn't sure whether I would be speaking, but yeah. So I work with an organization called Brink. We've been running a early stage food tech accelerator for the last couple of years. We've had 2 cohorts in Southeast Asia based off Hong Kong, and one which we run in Brazil. And we're about to launch our cohort in India in the next coming year in 2023. We largely look at looking at companies that are building for India or building in India, but for the world. So either solve in India or solve for the world based in India. Our experience largely and our expertise largely has been in running early stage accelerators, finding the right teams, helping them with the mentorship support to get them to the next level, helping them raise the next round of funding. So far, we've invested in about 226 different companies. Our food tech portfolio has seen a growth of about 2.5x in the last 2 years. We've seen that most of our companies end up raising about a 2 million round after our accelerator program within the next 10 to 12 months, and it takes about 18 months for them to go ahead and raise their Series A round. While these have largely been investments focused on Southeast Asia, I think last month we made our first investment in India in a very interesting company that I'd like to share a bit about for the other investors here. It's a company called Zero Cow Factory. What they essentially do is they've got a couple of processes. One is genomic replication, where they've managed to replicate the genomes of a cow that helps it produce the A2 protein, and then follow which is the A2 protein itself in powder form. What they're working on now is how do we use this to translate into products that can be used in daily life, like dairy alternatives, baby formula, for example, which is a massive market if you look at China and other parts of Southeast Asia. A2 Milk Company, New Zealand based, made their entire fortune based on the baby formula market. I'm sure most of you would be aware of that, right? So we're looking at working with early stage founders in the coming year, especially in food tech, seeing how we can grow this ecosystem. And I think what you guys are doing in terms of building the ecosystem, given that where we see it is food tech today is at that inflection point in India where, and another someone has also mentioned, right, that 2023 will be the year that defines food tech and defines this industry for India. So we're excited to work with these founders, and we're also looking if anyone of the investors here would like to come out and co-invest with us. We're happy to have those conversations. I'll also leave my contact details and my email ID in the chat box, and happy to speak or connect offline. Thanks, Sanjay ji, for this. I also had one question, if I could raise that.
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
So this is largely for people who've been looking at this. A lot of what I understood from these conversations, there's a lot of focus on do not position yourself as a substitute to meat, but as as something that gives you convenience, ease of use, taste, texture, right? But what I see today, a lot of companies that in terms of their packaging, either call them alternative to chicken nuggets, like taste like chicken nuggets. And I think, do we need to look at how we play around the packaging story? Is that something that will probably help with consumer awareness or consumer education? Because that's what comes up on the shelf, right? When someone sees it. I remember, and the GoodDot founder is here, so I did try GoodDots. I ordered it off Instamart a couple of months ago. And the minute it came home, my mom looks at it, and we're vegetarians, right? She looks at it like, "Tune keema mangaya?" Because it says mutton keema on the packaging itself. So that is the first reaction that people who looking at looking at this give out. So I just wanted to bring this point out and probably get some thoughts in terms of does the packaging story here have a role to play?
So Nikhil, after listening to you, two of our delegates, they immediately left. They thought that we are looking here for the money. And again, we have had the discussion about the packaging and our daily problems. So they don't want to listen all this, eh? When they talk to Nikhil, they want money. So first talk about money and then talk about all these things. Otherwise, they are not going to listen to you for packaging. We have just too many problems, Nikhil. This is food industry. It is not fintech or those easy to do businesses. Here things go wrong on all of the supply chain. And fortunately, you touched at the easiest to solve the problem, which is packaging. And we have too much of problem on the back end side. And we are being hit from all directions for being over processed. So those are the serious problems which we are really struggling to solve, and we hopefully will solve the packaging problem as well. And on a serious note, I agree that packaging also has to be sustainable if we are talking about sustainable foods. So Abhishek, before I call you, we have one of our speakers who couldn't join in, but his colleague is here. Devesh Bhadani from JU AgriVentures. Ajay Kakra, his flight got delayed, so his colleague Devesh Bhadani has come in. Devesh, can you tell me what is JU AgriVentures and how you can help us in the plant-based food sector?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. So JU Agri
video, okay. Devesh.
Yeah, I'll just switch on my video. Yeah. Good team, meet all the panelists and the participants here. So basically, I'll just give a brief contextual understanding of our JU Agri Innovation Venture. So JU Agri Innovation Venture is kind of a first of its kind of private dedicated ag food tech family office fund. So JU Agri Innovation Venture is part of a larger J.A.V.R. group, which is a 125-year-old business conglomerate with interests in multiple businesses related to agrochemicals, textiles, pharmaceuticals, and we also have a large-scale software services company called Prodampt. So this fund has been, we are not very old in this, around 1.52 years old in investment business. And we basically identify our very early stage scalable business models in agri and food related sectors, and sustainability is definitely one of the key themes which drives our investments. So our size, if we talk about it, we are quite flexible. It's our own fund, so we can invest as low as like 25 lakhs starting from there and go up to 1.5 million USD. So that is the investment size, and we typically invest post MVP when the product has just been launched into the market and started generating some traction, and we try to maybe exit at maybe Series A, and we are currently co-investing. We are not taking the lead position, and we invest with a time horizon of 3 to 4 years typically. That's in brief about. So good to, we have been getting a lot of proposals, different types of food, these kind of alternate plant protein based companies who are coming to us for raising funds, but we haven't made any till now.
In 23, will you make an investment in plant-based food?
Definitely, if we find the challenges, what we have seen, like many of those who came to us did not have their own IP. They were kind of buying the raw material from and then doing some mixing and developing the taste, and then basically trying to play the D2C, trying to create a D2C brand. So that is out of our investment thesis currently. We don't invest in D2C, but yeah, backend companies like some of our panelists were talking. There's a whole bunch of opportunities, very interesting startups we have also come across, but they haven't started generating any revenue, not even at the MVP stage. So that's why we are just there on hold. But yeah, there is a huge opportunity at the backward side of it. So in
Dinesh,
backward integration.
stay till the end. There are some exciting companies here, and they will, bust some of the myths that you have in your mind right now. And please, very happy to go through the recording which we will be sharing with you and other investors. So requesting Abhishek, and after that Priyanka Gurgaonkar. And also we have, Shaka Harry also. Shaka Harry has to leave. Can I get Anand first? Anand, are you there from Shaka Harry?
Hey Sanjay, hi, I'm here.
Yeah, hi. Please continue.
Hello. Sanjay, can you hear me?
Yes. So Shaka Harry is one of the most visible companies, and thanks to Dhoni, and of course Anand, you also, but Dhoni is Dhoni.
Thank you.
But
Sorry,
for you, there is a time limit, huh? Anand, 3 minutes. I know our audience wants to listen to you for 30 minutes, but we have limited time. You are a great speaker. Please.
No, thank you so much. I just want to quickly double click on a few points that came up. I think I'll just give a little bit of context on that, right? One is in terms of timing to the market. To generally say, hey, listen, is it too early? Is it at the right time? Is it too late, right? From an entrepreneur standpoint, I'll give you my background. Prior to Shaka Harry, I used to run a solar company in the renewable energy space. And when we started in 2012-13, capex and renewables at that point in time was somewhere about 12-13 crores, right? And pricing was going at about 15-16 rupees a unit. And you were getting grid pricing at about 5-6 rupees. And every investor said, yeah, it's not going to go below 12 rupees. Where are we going to see this market turn? But as the sustainability story and demand started rising, we saw this huge demand come in. And I think it fell from 12 crores to sub 5 crores in a span of about 3 years. Right. And in that period, we developed about $100 billion worth of assets in a span of 2.5 years. For us, that was the fastest in our group that we had gone from 0 to 100 million in that. So I'm saying the fundamentals from an Indian demand consumption standpoint is we will be premium in starting, right? And it's very similar to what you saw in electric mobility. You saw a bunch of vehicles that have been there, and now it's starting to catch up in the two-wheeler sector, right? Technology will catch up, but brands still need to do the long haul and be there early. Today, if you try to start an EV mobility bike, you're too late. But if they had started 5 years ago, people were like, "Yaar, kaun kharidega? Iska charging kahan pe hoga?" There are infrastructure issues. Similarly, from a D2C standpoint, I think pricing will be premium. Sometimes we make a mistake of looking at India as a homogeneous market, and we don't really say that, hey, listen, there's a price point. There's a market for every price point. 10 rupee product ka price point hai, 1000 rupee ka product ka price point hai. So that's where we're seeing this market go. It's a long haul. It's not a get-rich-quick plan for sure. But no startup is, right? You start looking at fintech, you look at tech, you look at any other startups, right? We can argue that they've all built scale, but they've not built any revenue or path to profitability. So I think from that standpoint, I think D2C brands, and I don't want to do injustice to what they're building in this country. I think on a unit economic level, I can speak for Shaka Harry, and I'm sure a few other larger brands in this space, we are profitable, right? There is a market building activity that is required. There's a distribution, there is a cost of logistics and all that. But on a unit economic gross margin level, we are all profitable as a product. And as scale start driving, I think economies of scale start coming in, the pricing is going to fit itself. And on to the last point, I think on D2C versus ingredients is a very well taken point, and investments need to flow across the entire chain, right? From ingredients all the way to brands. We've seen a spurt of investments in the D2C space in the last 4-5 years. It's very encouraging to see a lot of investors bullish about the ingredient space for the next 4-5 years. And I think it's absolutely healthy to invest across the supply chain on that. and very happy to take any questions that people have about where we see this market growing. Thanks, Sanjay, for the opportunity. Huge crowd, love it.
Requesting Abhishek, Karthik, and Priyanka.
Hi Sanjay, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Yes, Karthik.
Hi everyone, this is Karthik from Evo Foods. We are currently making one of the best plant-based eggs available in the entire world, which I'm really proud of. We just launched in Nature's Basket. If you are in Mumbai, if you are anywhere based in Mumbai, then do let us know your feedback on the product. We crave feedback. We want to improve the product even further. We have launched one of Asia's first plant-based hard-boiled egg variant in the Indian market. You can make scramble, you can make a burger out of it. You can even make desserts. So it's pretty, the applications are wide, and we are getting so far amazing response from Nature's Basket. And Nature's Basket also asked us to collaborate further even on the marketing activities as well. And soon enough, we'll also launch in other cities as well after spending 3+ years almost 3 years in R&D and product development, because plant-based eggs are one of the toughest categories to crack, right? A lot of egg puns are going to be there, but because eggs are affordable, eggs are nutritious, eggs are versatile, and those characteristics are really, really difficult to match. And that's why you are seeing only one player, just one player, controlling 99% of the entire plant-based egg market. And we hope that we could be the Pepsi to that Coke, and that's our ambition. And over the next 3 to 4 years, we plan to launch the products in India as well as in the US. And recently, we've been able to raise, approximately $1 million in the pre-seed round from reputed investors. Wedge Invest, Big Idea Ventures have been our institution ones. And recently, this is a new news which I would like to disclose right now. I didn't even tell Sanjay when he came to our office. We just have onboarded Dr. 𝗬𝗵𝗿𝗀, the founder of Upside Foods, as our investor. And he also joined the company as our board of advisors. So this is the first time I'm disclosing this news on this platform. And we'll soon disclose it to a wider public as well. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you all and getting your insights on the alternative protein space. I do believe that India has a market, India has a potential. It totally depends on the kind of products we are creating. No offense to anyone, but so far there are only a handful of companies where the product quality is really, really good. Others need to level up, definitely. And I believe that we'll be able to do that. We are smart as hell. And India has the potential to become the global hub for alternative protein. And I'm really, really excited to be in this industry since the last 5 years, working on making this a reality. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karthik. On the eve of Christmas, I can say that, Amen. You become the challenger to Just Eat.
No, our goal is to expand the market with them.
Yes. So when you become a unicorn, please give $1 million to PBFIA. Okay. Don't
Absolutely.
This is recorded, what you just now said. Okay. So Abhishek and Priyanka first. June Swear, can you come in first? The field grill. The amazing field grill. Rohit Bahadur, would you like to come and give your perspective? Parul Chugh.
Can you hear me?
Mute. It looks like I'm on the mute. Nobody's speaking.
Hello,
Parul.
yeah.
Yeah, you jump in. Jump in. Now somebody is trying to speak, but you first come in.
Yeah, okay. So, hello, sir. Hello, everyone. I'm Parul, and I'm here representing the Firmblend Group, which is based in Indore. And we are working on a variety of probiotics, prebiotics, and enzymes. And we are the sole manufacturers in the country, and we have our own strains. We have 31 approved FSSAI strains with us. And since after seeing the possibility of expanding in the plant-based sector, we are now hoping to expand in the fungal meat sector. And we are very happy to have investors here, and we are soon going to start our operations in this field. Thank you so much.
Okay, somebody was speaking and I stopped.
Was I audible?
Yes, of course. Plant elements.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so
Paul,
much.
you want to come in first? Paul Korean. June, are you there? Rohit Bahadur.
Yes, hi. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, Rohit.
Yes, hi everyone. Thank you to Sanjay sir and your entire team for this opportunity to be present at this forum. It is quite enlightening, and it is great to see what all activities are happening. You earlier heard from our chairman, Mr. Rajesh Srivastava. We are Prowess advisors, and we are largely food and agri focused, and our endeavor remains to help every kind of company, whether it's a startup, growth company, or a market leader, in their journey and in their respective subsector. I understand that this platform is dealing with the industry in its nascency. So naturally, a lot of the players that we are talking about would be, up till possibly pre-seed. That's the maximum that we would look at. But nevertheless, it's heartening to see the kind of innovations, the kind of experimentation that is going on. And as an organization that, that tries to be an enabler for other organizations, I would just say that, yes, as our chairman also said, resilience plays a huge role, and especially in the current economic climate, I would say that it takes a lot of courage to think of an idea, especially seeding it, and ultimately to be able to have the conviction in order to grow it over the next 15 to 18 months, face the steady headwinds, and also make sure that people listen to you, understand your concept, and you're ultimately able to break into the market. That would be our message to everyone who's operating in this field right now. There are people with money and people with enough expertise in the market to be able to handhold you and to provide the right fillip. So the message is to just hang in there, try to keep working very, very deeply on the science part of things, and rely on expertise, and also rely on how solid your vision is. And other than that, there are always organizations like ours or Sanjay sir's in order to provide expertise or support wherever it's needed. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Rohit. Bob Ratnaraja from Australia. Chandni Jaffrey.
Hello, Sanjay sir. How are you?
Hi.
Excellent. Is the camera working?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Just on dark mode. I need to put the light on. Just give me 1 second. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate you all. So just a little bit of background in Australian landscape. I play a role similar to what Sanjay and Sir Sanjay is doing with Plant-Based Food Association. We have a different dynamic in Australia in that we have a body called Food Frontier, which is something similar to GFI, and it's playing the industry alternate protein think tank. The challenges we have in Australia is that we have a very strong meat lobby, right? And there was a Senate hearing last year where they curtailed, and some of this may happen in India as well. As soon as your industry starts to bloom, they there was a Senate hearing about labeling laws. So in India, you have your labeling laws all set, whereas here they talked about the positioning and they said it's causing confusion for the consumer. So if any of your teams, if you're into behavioral economics, there's a thing called nudge theory. So what that means is a supermarket may want to incentivize alternate proteins or plant-based proteins for sustainability reasons, so they can tick their ESG filters. But because of the confusion, one of our largest supermarkets moved the packaging to a corner, which we know will detract in regards to investments or in regards to consumption. So the data in Australia is similar to what it is in the US, and it's flatlining, which isn't great. But there is still an undercurrent of people wanting to eat or move away from meat for the various health reasons as well. So it's a question of all the things that we've covered. I've written a blog about it. I'm happy to share that, everything that was covered today: taste, texture, appearance, and convenience. Because in Australia, for example, and you've got a different challenge in India because of the vastness, one of the investors talked about going to a specific region and testing it there. In Australia, we have the two major retailers control 66% market share. So what that means is if you're not in good terms with them, we don't necessarily have the best products on the shelf. So to give you an example, in plant-based cheeses, I know a lot of producers who have quality products, and some of you are probably doing the same in India, but if you don't have that accessibility to market, it proves a challenge. So these are the considerations, and we talked about having strategic alliances, such as the major players or the bigger industry players, so that you can get into the round table of those discussions. There are a few different things that comes to mind. Was that short and brief, Brother Sanjay?
Yes, thank you so much, Bob. And there's a lot of interest from cross investment from Australia and India. Request you to kindly work with
especially
us,
with the free
and
trade
the
agreement.
investors from there, as well as some of the investors from India might want to look at some interesting investment opportunities in Australia as well. So now
That's
requesting Dvit Rana, Guneet Kaur, and Neeraj Verma. Dvit, Guneet, Neeraj. Shami. Shami, you can come in first. The first vegan store. You are on the mute. Shami, you are on the mute.
Sorry. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so hi everyone. It was amazing. I've been here throughout the discussion, and awesome to see such a big growth in the industry. Because when I started in 2016, November 13, that time in India, at least there was nothing available. There was the whole food plant-based movement, and people were turning vegan because of health reasons. And Sharan was doing a very good job in that. And then what happened was when I turned vegan, when I went looking, I didn't get anything. So I thought, like, let us create convenience for people so that they can get products so that they can turn vegan. Otherwise, it would be very difficult. I used to be in the vegan groups, and people used to ask, how do I have tea? How do I have coffee? So in my real estate office, I just put up a small rack with a few products. And I told people, like, if you need any help in turning vegan, I can help you. So when they used to come in, hello. So when they used to come in, they used to need products like curds and yogurts and milk and stuff like that. So I used to try and arrange for it and get it for them.
Are you
But
looking for
slowly,
investment, Shami? Shami, are you looking for investment?
Definitely,
How much?
definitely.
How much?
So I have not really, it's just the first time I've come into this space. So I've been working 6 years without self-funded. So I need to just understand the process of investment first.
Okay, great. So Shami, if you have finished, can I bring in the next speaker?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Ruhi from the Field Grill. Paul Korean.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, Ruhi.
Okay. Hello, sir. How are you? Hello, everyone. I am Ruhi from the brand The Field Grill Company. We are basically a technology-driven company and supplying our plant-based mock beats to various companies on their private label. We have been in this field for more than a year now, and we are getting good response from the market. And we personally feel that with so much of information on plant-based products and with sessions, regular sessions from PBFIA, the awareness will come up in a better way in times to come. So we are looking forward for the companies who are interested to have their products developed under their brand name, and they can contact me. I have left my contact coordinates and would be very willing to offer our products under their label. Thank you, sir.
Great. Now, Siddharth Paul, Samir Prasad, Gunit Kaur, Devabhrata from Proeon. Prashant, would you like to speak from Paul? Sagar from Vegan Dukan, are you there? Pradeep Rao from Evo Foods. Evo Foods was recognized recently with an amazing company award at India Food Forum. Pradeep, are you there?
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay. This is Pradeep here. I am from Bangalore. Our company is called Evo Foods. It's a Bangalore-based food tech company playing in the plant-based space alone. What we have launched in the market is a output of 4 years of research that we have done. We did a POC for about 18 months, spoke to Indian consumers to understand what will make them buy something like this, like plant-based foods, and replace meat or include more protein in their diet. So subsequently, what we have launched in the market is a whole muscle texture, ready to cook product that can be minced as well as cooked as a whole muscle. So about 150 dishes have been tried using our product. Around 50 dishes are already in the market. We have around 20 clients, and we have chosen B2B first and export first. We are not in the D2C right now. The idea is to first get the volumes through B2B and exports, and subsequently enter the D2C market when you are able to achieve that price parity and give that value to the consumer. We also have an IP. It's a very unique product, which is why Sanjay was saying about the award which we received from PepsiCo very recently. So we will be raising a round very soon. We have been actively engaging with quite a few people. We have raised significant capital in the beginning through convertibles, especially because the market itself did not exist. So more than happy to be here and connect with people.
Okay, so Sonal from WhiteCub couldn't come. She is representing WhiteCub and an amazing dairy company, a plant-based dairy company, and also now Sagar is there from Vegan Dukan.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sagar, and I'm representing Vegan Dukan. We are a marketplace for vegan plant-based products. We have been in market for 3 years now, and there are close to 270 brands, either completely focused on vegan alternates, or the part of portfolio which is vegan, which they are listed on our platform. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to represent complete vegan lifestyle to India, and probably in future we'll see how it goes, if we can do, global as well. And we have been seeing the growth year on year. We are looking for funding. We were funded last year. We have started the process again, because to represent this lifestyle, to create the consumer awareness, education, as well as selling the products of various wonderful brands what we have, we would need a lot of support from patient venture capitalists. And we are also trying to create one-stop solution so that this kind of lifestyle can become very easy for anybody to attain. We also have reasonably good repeat customer rate, and we work a lot on customer satisfaction, because that's what our USP is as the aggregator. So, and thanks a lot for this initiative, PBFIA and Sanjay sir. Would be wonderful to get in touch with people who would be interested in our kind of company and venture. Thank you.
Thank you, Sagar, for doing amazing work. Prerna from Wesley and Prasad from Yes Bank. Yes. Aditya, would you like to tell about your platform, Aditya Gupta?
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so my name is Aditya Gupta. I have recently built a platform about veganism, which has kind of covered all the kind of resources a kind of individual need to kind of change his lifestyle, which includes many of the companies in the vegan sector, many of the kind of educators in the vegan sector, food blogs and kind of videos about the vegan foods, and kind of everything vegan you need in one place. So if anyone is kind of interested in that platform, you can go on the website veganwatch.in. Thank you, sir.
Prerna from Wesley.
Hi, can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. I'm Prerna Bajaj, Director for Evo Foods, and I'm an advocate myself. And we started this company in 2010. And we are into manufacturing of more than 40 products. And the core vision and the core thing of our company is we believe in innovation and improvise our products in the best potential manner we can. And we are a self-funded company since last 12 years, and we didn't have any VC at the moment, but still planning to expand our company in the best potential manner overseas. And we are exporting to US and Canada as well. And looking forward for your support and suggestions. Thank you.
Sonika from Taralata and Samir Prasad from Nomu. Amazing Nomu ice creams. Samir. Hello, Samir. You're on the mute, Samir. Samir can't hear me.
Yeah, hi. Hi, I'm Samir from Nomu Plant-Based Gelato. We are like a gelato and dessert company based out of Mumbai. And we are present in 17 cities across India. And we are looking to raise funds around 300,000 USD. Yeah, that's about it.
Can we taste your ice creams, plant-based ice creams in Delhi? Samir?
Yeah, we are. We are in Delhi. We are available at in modern retail at Nature's Basket and Food Hall, and also at a specialty store called Nature's Soul in Defense Colony.
Wonderful. Look forward to meet you again during the Plant-Based Food Summit, which is most likely happening on 16th and 17th of May. And this time we have booked the entire La Meridian Hotel. So it's going to be much more bigger, massive, and not just a conference, but also an exhibition. So it was going to be in the convex setting. We have Devabrata from ProMeat and Varun from Ceasefire, Prashant from Paul, and Siddharpal from Praj. He's coming. and Kunal from Blue Tribe, and Prasad from Yes Bank, an investor.
Maybe I can step
Also-
in first.
Yes, please. Anyone can come in.
Hi, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Farhan. I am co-founder of 𝗬𝗫𝗄, a plant-based seafood company. We have been into the alternative protein space for over a year now, highly vested into deep tech. Essentially, what we do at 𝗬𝗫𝗄 is we are focusing on delivering enabling technologies for whole muscle cut type seafood products. But we do realize that the plant-based seafood ecosystem, when we look it from the Asia Pacific geographical point of view, it's very nascent. We still don't have the established category. So recently we have launched a series of products like crumb fish fillets and fish sticks into the Indian market, starting from Mumbai and Delhi. You can definitely find these products in some of the food service partners that we are promoting our products through. But on the company's vision perspective, we are more of a technology enabler, developing some new technologies with hardcore R&D on whole muscle cut and focusing on hybrid alternatives for seafood. So doing a lot of collaborations with some of the international partners, and stay tuned with us on how we get onto the market. Thank you very much.
Varun, you have created a lot of buzz already, and wish you all the best. Sonika from Tralata, Shri and Sherville from Another Foods, and also Joyce Matthew from Jackfruit World.
Hi, hello.
Hi, hi Joyce. You're on the mute, Joyce. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hello, Sanjay sir. This is
Yes.
𝗫𝗙𝗻𝗙.
Please continue.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello?
continue. We can hear you.
Can you
Continue.
hear? Okay. I am 𝗫𝗙𝗻𝗙 from PKM Fine Foods and Spices, Cochin. Hello.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to attend this plant-based companies meeting in this webinar. See, we are into manufacturing of ready-to-eat products, ready to cook, and the processed jackfruit products. See, mainly we are exporting to Australia this processed jackfruit products. It's a vegan product. Jackfruit substitute as a meat substitute. We manufacture 3 variants in jackfruit, nude variant and 2 other sauce variants also. We export in retail pack and institutional packs also. And we are in discussion with 2 US customers also. We plan to export to US also, US and UK also. So I think this is this vegan product, plant-based products has a good potential. It is growing. We started this exporting of these products in 2018, and it is growing every year, the volume. So we mainly manufacture, we do contract manufacturing for other major companies in their brands. And whoever is interested, with any company is interested in manufacturing products for in their brands, you can contact us. And also any investors interested in investing also, you can discuss. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all.
Yeah, Paul Kerry is asking for your details, and they are showing interest in you. And anybody who wants to come in at this stage, you are welcome to come in. And also, I had called out some of the names earlier. If anybody is ready to speak, please speak now. Shah.
Can I come in?
Yes.
Darshana. Yeah. So I've started an organization called Ahimsa Land Foundation. Is to shift farmers away from animal exploiting industries to plant-based industries or other sources of income that may not be related to farming or plant-based activities. At the moment, through a gaushala that I'm associated with, I've been able to connect with farmers in one small village, and we are starting natural farming
workshops for them. We will be starting the actual farming tomorrow or maybe this week. And we have also got an cold press oil machine for them. This is a pilot with the Gaushala. The thing is, the byproducts of both farming, that is cultivation, the stalks that are left over of sugarcane, bajra, jowar, wheat, rice are fed to the cattle. And by teaching them natural farming, what we will be doing is we will be encouraging them to put this back into the land. So we'll be cutting off the source of cattle feed for the dairy industry in a way. For the oil machine, the cold pressed oil machine, the leftover is oil cakes.
Are you looking for investment, Darshana,
yes,
for plant-based foods?
Yes, I am. So we have just been able to pulverize the oil cakes into a powder form. And I'm looking to see if we can use this for pet food or for other human consumption.
Great.
And I need, I need to start the R&D for this. I'm looking for a team help for that. So again, this will, the oil cakes are also fed as, sold back to the dairy industry as feed, cattle feed. So basically trying to make the dairy industry unviable economically by taking away or making the, feed very expensive for them to get.
Jinal, can I call you now? Can I call Jinal now, please? Thank you. Thank you, Darshana.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jinesh Shah, and I am the vegan marketer. So my the main service that I offer is marketing help to vegan brands or vegan businesses. And the main purpose is I've got like 15 plus years of marketing experience, but it's just in the last 1 month that I have shifted my focus or rather narrowed down my focus to help all the plant-based businesses market themselves, because I think for any business to grow, you require marketing support, whether you are in the startup phase or whether you've reached growth and maturity. So if anybody needs help, let me know. And just one thought before I go. So I don't know how many of you are aware of Veganuary, which happens every January. It's a vegan challenge, which is sponsored by or launched by a UK NGO, and it's gaining immense popularity everywhere, where people say that, for the month of January, please at least try going vegan for that 1 month. And because there's a lot of interest around veganism and vegan foods in January, it's the right time for brands, especially plant-based brands, which are consumer facing, to jump in on the trend and do something related to Veganuary. So this is something I thought that I want to leave you guys with.
Okay, great.
And Sanjay, awesome meeting. Loved it.
Thank you. We have more than 2 hours and about 100 people still there, and would
Sanjay sir,
request
can I come
everybody to also support Veganuary, which is the January month. They are our partners. Vegan Outreach is also our partners for plant-based Navratri campaign, which the second edition will start on 22nd of March up to 31st of March. And Vegan Outreach also has a similar campaign called 10 Days to Vegan, or 10 Weeks to Vegan, sorry, 10 Weeks to Vegan. So now, who wants to come in first? I think 𝗫𝗵𝗫𝗀𝗃 wants to say something, or Sonika?
Yeah, Shiv here. Hi. Hi, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you, Sanjay sir, is creating such an impact in the plant-based movement. And I'm Shiv from Bangalore, that I'm a food tech startup focusing of high moisture meat analog. First time in India, I can say that we are getting a unique technology from Germany, and then we are starting up. Our product has not yet come into the market. We are ready to launch. We're doing R&D and piloting for almost 3.5 years now. And our brand is Veganta. We will be launching by probably in the early 23. Thank you very much. Look forward all of your support and would like to hear from you all. And once again, thank you, Sanjay sir.
Thank you. Clive D'Souza and Sonika. Kanika, you want to come in first?
Yeah.
Sonika, or Clive is there. I think Clive is speaking. Clive, you are on the mute.
Should I go ahead? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Clive, Sonika, and then Kanika.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Sanjay. My name is Clive. I'm the founder of Vegano.com. We are a vegan marketplace based out of Mumbai and Bengaluru. And we are actively looking for funds. And our main focus is, of course, to improve our technology stack, get out our own range of plant-based products in 2023. And of course, to create more and more awareness. We, of course, have all the major vegan brands listed on us, and we've been around for the last 3 years. Thank you.
Yes, Sanjay, I'll go.
Yes, Kanika, you can go, and after that, Sonika can also come in.
Hi everyone, this is Kanika 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I'm a founder of startup brand called as 𝗦𝗽𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Evolve Naturally. We specialize in dehydrated and sprouted foods using ancient grains of India. So we work mainly on legumes and on millets, and that too in the sprouted version. So we are here to help everyone who's looking for making the plant-based alternative innovations using these legumes and millets. So we're working with few companies on yogurts, on even making milk-based using sprouted flours, and we have recently done an innovation in vegan cookies, for which IIT Kanpur has actually made us their gifting partners for the next e-summit event, which is happening in January. So we are very gladful for them, wherein we can showcase the plant-based products. Cookies can be very, very easy to penetrate into the market. And we are glad to launch even 100% millet-based noodles just in last month. So really thankful to the whole team of PBFI here, who keeps constantly work with us, all the new brands and into the innovation. So thank you.
Sonika, Shankar.
Can I go ahead, Sanjay sir?
Yes.
Hi. Hi, I'm Sonika from Tralata. We are into healthy plant-based food with an environmental, all our decisions are with environmental impact in mind. We are a cloud kitchen in Mumbai. We did a pilot for the last 1.5 years. Now we are looking at expanding. Our vision is to have a global chain of cloud kitchens serving healthy, clean label, environment conscious, plant-based food across the world. So yeah, that's a little bit about us.
Rishi, Shankar.
Hello there. This is Rishi from Pachakati. I have a vegan food brand based out of Chennai. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. So I have a vegan food brand based out of Chennai. We have been catering to events all across in Chennai, also in Bangalore, and we're looking to raise some funds in 23 and also to cater events all across India, and possibly to set up QSR in the near future as well. We are a 2-year-old brand also.
Are you looking for funds?
Yeah, in 23 to expand all across India, and in the future to set up QSRs.
How much?
Somewhere around 2 to 3 CR.
$1,000?
In dollars, I have to
2 to
calculate.
3 crores, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Shankar?
Hi. Am I audible?
Yes, Shankar.
Hello? Yeah. Hi. Good evening, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Shankar. We had started our vegan restaurant in Pondicherry in 2018. And during COVID, we had to shift back to Chennai, and then we started our restaurant, vegan restaurant, as well as vegan products retailing in Chennai in the name of the Viridian Plate. And we are successfully running it, but now we are looking up for the investors to come in so that we can have our the same setup all over India, especially with the places where the vegan products are not at all present to propagate the veganism. From urban areas to suburban areas.
Are you looking forward to investment?
Yeah, I'm looking forward for investment.
How much?
2 to 3 crores. India, INR I'm talking about.
The best, Shankar. Now requesting Atul and Ayush and Bharat Singh. Live, you're there? Live spoke, right? No.
Yes, sir, I spoke already. Yeah.
Yeah, you spoke. Okay.
I think Sir's video is stuck. So meanwhile, is there anyone else who wants to speak?
Can I?
Sure, sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So hi, Prasad here from Yes Bank Food and Agriculture team. So for the startups, any financial institution which is under RBI, they do provide loans. But this is basis the due diligence that the respective banks would do and provide. There are challenges for financial institutions in terms of the vintage of the startups, because all banks do look for couple of years of balance sheets to analyze, because that becomes the underlying to look at how much quantum of credit and the other securities and collaterals. But there is a possibility definitely. But what could boost up all these is the Ministry of Food Processing and APIDA and few other government bodies provide incentives. For example, MOFP gives grants, but these are all time bound incentives, like the Sampada scheme, under which under creation expansion there is a capex grant that is given. So when these kind of approvals are given to startups, then banks find these very interesting, because there is an additional source of revenues that are available to the startups. So that becomes very lucrative for banks, because that can be kept like an FD or something in the bank, and they can give a loan. Then the other side is startups should also watch out for the state, the respective states, and what kind of fiscal incentives. For example, waiving the registration stamp duty for land registration, or incentives for doing the local sales. Then you get a lot of exemptions on the sales tax in the respective states. Plus, there are some other schemes, for example, power tariff subsidy and all. These are all specific state level, which even if you reach out to us, maybe we can also maybe just get it from the respective departments and share it with all the startups. And then separately, of course, there are two collateral free guarantees schemes that are available. For example, CGTMSE, which is the credit guarantee for the medium and small enterprises, that gives 2 crore collateral free guarantee. That is, the state government guarantees up to a loan quantum of 2 crores. Above that, it's on the bank. That is the CGTMSE scheme. That is something that startups can look out for while availing, loans from the financial institutions, which is typically the banks. Of late, there has been a CGSS. There is a credit guarantee scheme for startups. So that can also be looked out for by the startups. And the other part is startup funding up to 50 crores per startup comes under the PSL, Priority Sector Lending Norms. So there will be a wee bit lower rate of interest compared to the commercial rates. So that is also something that the startup should definitely discuss when speaking to financial institutions. So I think that's the base. Thanks.
Great. So we are still, half an hour. We have shoot the time. So I think it's time that we should start wrapping up. But would like to find out who else would like to. Gautam, you want to say something? Please go ahead, Gautam. You are on the mute. Gautam, you are on the mute. Mute. You are on the mute. You are on the mute. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Now, yes.
Okay, so we are developing food cooking technology. This technology is for commercial kitchens, cloud kitchens. It is also for the plant-based protein manufacturers who want to do their R&D. The beauty of the technology is that a single equipment can do steaming, roasting, baking, grilling, pan fry, sous vide, rethermalization of frozen foods. It can do dehydration of fruits and vegetables. It can do low temperature cooking, overnight cooking. Then we have a specialized thing called core temperature cooking, where we have a very specialized temperature probe which is put inside the food, and we cook the food from its core with preset control. And the best part of the story is, while doing all these things, you can cook your food with 100% humidity control. So when you're doing humidity control and temperature control, the sensory appeal of the food, texture, and the shelf life, they increase. And it gives a different texture, different appeal only altogether. Now, this tech is not available in India today other than imported. Our tech will be at half the cost of the imported tech, and feature to feature, we are on par with any European or American technology. And herein, I just also wanted to add one word to, I heard a lot of plant-based food manufacturer, food suppliers putting up cloud kitchens, and everybody's looking for funding. Now, the thing is, cloud kitchens are not on the active radar of venture capitalists, because everywhere everybody is having some kind of a cloud kitchen. And out of, if 10 cloud kitchens open up, hardly 4 or 5 survive, 6 die. So if at all anybody wants to be a bigger player using millets and plant-based proteins in cloud kitchens, you have to up your game by technology and automation. You have to create your distinction in the market by offering different curated menus, and the sensory appeal of your food has to be completely different. Only then that you will have some VCs getting interested in you to fund your expansion of your cloud kitchens. Otherwise, it's a very, very, very congested space. And one more point which I wanted to mention was that if anybody requires technology to be developed for them, for their any specific cooking purposes, for some dishes which are difficult to cook in the regular equipments, you require something to be done, custom built for you, then yes, we can develop that kind of a food cooking technology for you. Thank you.
Okay. Milan Mehta, Manan Bhatt. Manan, would you like to share your experience? You have been around for a long time in this industry.
Hi Sanjay, hi everyone. Yes, I have been around for a while, but yes, I'm looking to revive the brand. We launched with 1 liter unsweetened almond milk product in 1 liter Tetra packs, and we were catering to around 80 plus stores here in Mumbai, and also catering to the B2B segment as well. But unfortunately, lockdown came with certain challenges, as we were completely self-funded, and I am in complete plans of reviving the brand and introducing new products and coming up with different products focusing completely on the Indian consumer palate.
Wonderful. Wish you good luck. Manan?
Thank you so much.
Kiresh, are you there? Madhu, Ahmed
Sir.
Sakir?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, sir. Hi, my name is Kirish, and I'm from Chennai. And we have curated a brand called Oilo, which is an agri-tech startup, where we develop 20 plus spinach-based infused oil, See, what happens is generally like the kids won't generally have the spinach, the greens, like which has more nutrition in all the greens and vegetables. So the idea behind is like we have developed some 20+ spinach. We have curated and selected the healthy spinach, and and we have curated a oil which is infused in the oil, like in fact. So this is a basic idea, and in that, like the oil can be used for sauteing, frying, and other cooking purpose as well. So people who dislike spinach will consume the same in infused oil form. So typically what happens is, as a parent, we all care for our kids to be healthier with necessary nutrients, which is highly available in spinach. For example, I could say like the moringa leaves has 7 times more vitamin C than oranges and 15 times more potassium than bananas. So this is a basic idea where we develop 20+ spinach-based infused oil, the cooking oil. Yes, and we have a store in Chennai and 2 stores in Chennai, and we are in the traction mode where we have already validated the product, and we are in the revenue making company. Yes, sir. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, yes, Girish, we can hear you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else who would like to add anything here? Any of you would like to come and speak, talk about your product, or yeah?
I'd like to say things. I'd like to thank the entire team headed by Sanjay ji to invite, and there was a lot of learning lessons. Already I am into exports of ingredients, and recently I've added millets into it. And I think I made up my mind looking to a lot of learning points here. What is the path that I need to take ahead? Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Sanjay ji and the entire team. This is Milan Mehta from Bombay. Thank you.
Would like to thank entire plant-based nutrition team. We all keep thanking only for Sanjay, but it's not only a Sanjay Sethi, but it's a whole team does a wonderful work. Bringing all of us together is contributing to this category. It makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much for each and everyone in PBFIA. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those kind words. I think Sir got dropped off.
There's one person was raised the hand. I think Swati Mishra wants to come in. Dr. Swati?
Yes. Hello. Sorry, I won't be able to pull this camera at the moment due to some technical issue. And let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Swati, and I'm working as a CMO for Farmland Bio. It's a probiotic culture manufacturing company based in Indore. And we are into probiotics. We have started this a couple of years back. With the aim to provide good quality of products with high stability, realizing the Indian market, keeping all these things into consideration. And we also formulate these cultures. We do blend, we do make the blends also. We formulate for the capsule sachets as per to the client's need. And we are into, at the moment, into B2B segment. And we have some eminent scientists who are into our team, and they are working on making some newer products. So we are performing some R&D also to come up with some new products in this segment of probiotics and prebiotics. And basically, though we are not directly into plant-based, but we are more interested in listening, and maybe in future we might enter into this market. But I would like to thank Sanjay sir and his team for taking this opportunity, for giving us this opportunity to be here and present in front, and to get to know more about the veganism, to all other players who have already entered into this market, and what are the views of the investor. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swati. I think there are a few people who want your contact details, so please drop it in the chat box.
Yeah, sure.
Sukriti
Thank you
also
so much.
wants to come in. I think Sukriti wants to come in.
Yeah, so just wanted to add, all of you can fill out the survey link that we have shared, so it will be easier for us to share all the details with you. So you can find it in the chat. Yeah, so you mentioned
Mansi
Sukriti.
and Sukriti.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sethi Kashyap, and I started my journey as an environmental lawyer. Today, I'm working with with a company that is partially a venture capital company, and at the same time, we take care of ESG and sustainability reporting of companies. So I've always been interested in this sustainability domain since a long time and plant-based foods, and I tried to do something with respect to not foods, but basically making Dhamsala sustainable in 2020. And on and off, we do take care of all these platforms. And one of the challenges that I faced throughout this journey is that uh, marketing and branding of these products, if it goes wrong right in the beginning, then people don't really care much about sustainability, planet at this stage, but they're more interested in what you bring to the table and how smartly you are priced and how the branding is actually. So, is it just my experience, or is it actually true when brands do come into the market and they try to sell themselves, calling themselves planet positive, and bringing in sustainability factor? But do people actually on ground care, or are they just interested in how the product is and how it feels, to be honest, and how it is priced? So it's a question that I wanted to ask if anybody can answer me.
Once again, please ask the question.
Hello?
Sukriti, please ask the question again.
So in short, the question is that especially when it comes to Indian markets, are people actually that interested in purchasing a brand that is planet positive, or it is talking about sustainability, and or are they more interested in cheaper products, and at the same time it should feel nice to the tongue? So
I used to think that people don't really care about sustainability and they go for cheaper and the physical attributes of the product. But the recent surveys which are coming out, they prove absolutely different things. They say that the youngsters are looking for, even they're ready to pay a small premium for the sustainable products. So we cannot totally disregard all the research which is coming in, and it's not once, it is coming multiple times. So I'm forced to believe that there are some people who really want to bring a change, especially in plant-based foods. They feel that through their tongue, through their taste, by altering their food habits, they can bring a big change in the society, and with a lower footprint on environment, or by ensuring that animals are not slaughtered, or which is something healthy. So definitely there are people on both sides of the aisle. It's not a yes and no answer, but there are some people like you, Sukriti, who are wanting to bring a change and at the cost of their own wallet, I would say. Okay, so now Mansi. You're on the mute, Mansi.
Oh, yes. So sorry, I'm on the road. Hi, everyone. Hello, Mr. Sage.
Yes, continue, please. We can hear you, Mansi. Continue, please. Hello. I think Mansi has some technical issue. Anybody else who wants to come in at this stage? Abhinav, you want to say something? Arnav? Who is aspiring? It can't be the name. Okay, so I think that brings us to the
Can
end.
you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm sorry, I'm on the road, so there is a network issue. And recently I was involved in launching.
Better to stop your vehicle first. It will be good. Stop your vehicle, otherwise this issue will persist. In the meantime, who is this Lorry? Not sure if Lopa spoke. 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗙𝗀𝗲𝗿𝘀. Arnab. Mansi, you are on the mute. So let Mansi be the last speaker of the day. As we have heard almost all of you, and it has been more than half an hour. Yes, Mansi.
Okay, let's give this one more try.
Yes.
Yes. So I was saying I'm a wannabe entrepreneur. I'm from the media background. And recently I was involved in launching a show called Freedom for All on NDTV with India Animal Fund. I hope you all watched it.
Yes, we did.
Okay, great. So I wanted to know, so I'm also an animal activist, and of course I'm a vegan. And I wanted to start a venture where I wanted to open a cafe with a different concept. A cafe where there are also animals inside the cafeteria, something like a cat cafe. And I don't know where to start. I'm not, as I said, I'm not from a business background. So I'm looking for somebody who can maybe want to partner with me in this. And I thought maybe this is a right platform to ask.
Yes, Mansi, it's the right platform, provided you leave behind your contact details. What's your full name?
My full name is 𝗦𝗽𝗙𝗀𝗙𝗀𝗻𝗄𝗃. Mansi J. You can call me Mansi J.
So who wants to go next?
Good afternoon, Sanjay ji. This is Shivangini Mahendra from Mumbai. I just wanted to put in a quick word for Mansi specifically. I have space in Mumbai if she's interested in opening her restaurant. And she's most welcome to connect with me. I'll put my details inside the chat for the same.
Okay, I will. Thank you so much.
Great. Arnab, Shankar, I see your hand raised.
Hello, Sanjay sir. It was by mistake. I'm Arnab Guha speaking from Impeccable Innovations, Bangalore. So we are a bootstrap startup, past 6.5 years. And we are into currently manufacturing of gluten-free multigrain flour. And we are on the verge of launching our first alt protein brand. It will be in the vegan milk space, plant-based milk space. And we are now looking to raise funds for the vegan milk brand business, basically. And we are in touch with few investors. So it will be a pre-revenue stage where we are looking to raise the funds. Our current brand, which is the Spotify, you can see our products in Flipkart also. And it is doing very well. It's a gluten-free, vegan, and without allergy. And we are working with a lot of autistic children across India. So that's why we are starting this allergic-free vegan milk brand.
So it will be launched most probably by Jan end 2023. So we are looking to raise a fund of around 4 CR or $500,000 to start this at a very fast scale. So we are based in Whitefield, Bangalore. So if any investors are listening to us, they can reach out to us. Happy to connect, and surely will soon be in your portfolio, Sanjay ji.
Yes, so this is a recorded line, and we will be sharing the recording with the various investors, and it will also be uploaded on our channels. And now requesting Indra and Narahari to summarize today's conversation. You're on the mute, Narahari. I can't hear you.
Am I audible? Yes.
Yes.
I think it's been a very interactive session, and even after almost 2.5 hours, I think we still have around 40 to 50 people still sticking around with us, and that shows how much interest there is towards this sector, and also the need for investment right now. Because like I already mentioned initially, that the investment space globally is not looking very bright, but still there are like a lot of investors who are like we just saw today. There are a lot of investors who are looking to make green investments, and India being a really huge startup hub, I think we can take this to the next level. And it would be great if you guys can also, if you still haven't, kindly fill up the survey form that Aditi had shared in the chat box, so that we can share your details with the investors. And thank you so much for this, for making this session a success, and really looking forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Okay, Narahari, are you there? So now, I believe almost everybody has spoken, and Narahari is not to be found, disappeared, right? Narahari, are you back?
So I think he's having some issues with his.
Narahari?
Yes, sir. Now I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Can you summarize?
So thank you, sir. It was a beautiful session, and I believe 200 plus people joined in today. And today we could also hear the perspective from the investors, as this was our first activity in the investment work stream. And we will definitely be doing such sessions in future, and definitely looking forward to reaching out to all of you. So in case you have any queries, you can write to us at sanjay.sethi@pbfia.org. And in case you want to become a member of the association, you can again write to us at the same email address. Thank you so much.
Okay, Medha, would you like to summarize today's conversation?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I think the session went wonderful. I think with a lot of key intakes. I think a lot of people who are seeking for investment, they understood the scenario and what investors were talking about. I think one thing which touched me was that investment should be throughout the value chain. It should be also related to infrastructure development, and this is what we are also trying to build through our protein cluster initiative. So overall, as an association, we would like to know more from the members that what kind of support you guys need from us. You can write to us with, as Narahari explained, that you can please write to us if you want to have one-on-one interaction with us. Please ask for meetings. We are open to come online and discuss. And even if you want to make your product being tasted, or you want to organize something, we are there to support you in everywhere.
Aditi?
Yeah, so I think our team, they covered it well. So there are still a few people left. It was a great interaction, and we plan on hosting more meetups with the investors. You can fill out your details in the survey form there, and of course reach out to Sanjay sir in the email ID provided. And yeah, you can let us know your exact requirements, what you are looking for as well, so that we can help you out in the right manner. And it was a great interaction. Looking forward to more in the future. Thank you.
Anybody else would like to summarize or give a feedback or comment on today's conversation? Anybody else would like to comment? Okay. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been great. 3 hours, I think 3 hours and 15 minutes. Wonderful interaction.
Mr. Sanjay,